Indiana Fever got themselves a reality check last night. Reality actually did come for the Indiana Fever. They got a chance to test themselves against the number one team in the league, a team that was on more of a heater than the Indiana Fever with a 9-game win streak. Now, to be fair, let me say this. Both teams didn't play a lot of the top talent during their win streak, right? Until they played each other in the Fever 5-game win streak. They played the Liberty and what they played the Storm a couple of times. I think they played the Tempo. I can't remember the other team, but it was the same thing for the Lynx. They played a lot of bad teams. They also played the Liberty only once, and I think they both got lucky with their timing of when they played them because Sabrina Ionescu has flipped the switch for the New York Liberty because there was a lot of talk about how they haven't been playing well since she came back. So watch out for the New York Liberty. But that being said, this was obviously a big test for the Indiana Fever to see where they really are at the moment. And we've got some good and bad. I mean, the bad is they got outplayed, right? It ended up being a little closer than maybe it should have been, but this game was over early for anyone watching. I'm not saying it was a 25-point lead, but you just got the sense that this was a game that the Minnesota Lynx were in control of from start to finish for the most part. You never really thought, hey, the Indiana Fever could win this game. That is a problem. But don't worry, there's going to be good news in this video as well. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark. Look, man, y'all at the risk of losing more subscribers, but it wouldn't be the first time. I'm not going to glaze Caitlin. Caitlin was okay. She didn't have a terrible game. I mean, that's kind of the thing. It gave the vibe for me a lot of a terrible game for Caitlin Clark. But you know what? Caitlin Clark's terrible games not as terrible as a lot of other people's. It really came down to the fact that she couldn't hit a three, right? Otherwise, she shot, I think, what, 2 for 9 for three, which meant she was 6 for 8 from two. She's showing a lot more of that mid game this year, that getting to the basket in that mid game this year. That I did videos all the way back on in 2024 to let everyone know that she has it. She just hasn't used it a lot, but she's using it a lot more now. She did miss a couple of big ones late. I mean, let's fair is fair. She did have a couple of good looks late in that game that could have made a difference when we got to what I think within two, was it twice or did we get within two and within three? And then we couldn't get a defensive stop, which is another huge problem, which is kind of interesting considering Stephanie White is a defensive specialist, or so we keep hearing. But look, man, Caitlin Clark, all of them, Kelsey Mitchell, everyone is going to have a bad night when you're talking about being a shooter. It happens. The question is, what else can you do to impact the game in a positive way for your team? And that is what is so great about Caitlin Clark, not so great about certain other players. Caitlin Clark can shoot poorly and still greatly positively impact a game. Last night's a great example. She just missed, is it last night when I'm recording this? Yeah, technically last night. Just missed another 2010 game to add to her record of 2010 games. She had 19 and 11. Probably could have been 16 or 17, if her teammates could catch passes and make layups and all that. So Caitlin Clark still had a positive impact on the game despite shooting 2 of 9 from three. And yeah, it would have been nice though if she could have hit one of those couple toward the end of the game without a doubt. But she still was a positive player for this team. Now, let's flip to the other one, Kelsey Mitchell. I know there is a full on, full court press in the media. The other players glazing Kelsey Mitchell for everything because they want to convince everyone that she is the MVP candidate. They want to convince everyone that she is the best player on the Fever. But here's the thing, and I will admit a bias here, and it's not a Caitlin Clark bias. It's not a Kelsey Mitchell bias. It's a I don't like scorers who can only score. That is my bias. Kelsey Mitchell, scorers can score a lot and still have a negative impact overall for their team. Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell lit it up. Kelsey Mitchell shot well, no doubt. Kelsey Mitchell scored a lot of points. She can score a lot of points. Kelsey Mitchell doesn't do anything else. There is no excuse Let me make this very, very, very clear. There is no excuse for a player with Kelsey Mitchell's elite athleticism, her elite quickness, her elite explosiveness, her elite ability to change direction. You know what all those things described or should describe? An elite defender. And Kelsey Mitchell isn't even an average defender. She's not even a below average defender. She is an absolutely abysmally bad defender. There is no reason Olivia Miles ain't that tall, folks. So even that's not an excuse. There is zero reason that Kelsey Mitchell should not be able to shut down an Olivia Miles. I don't care how good people think Olivia Miles is. Someone with Kelsey Mitchell's athleticism should be able to shut down Olivia Miles. Period. No excuses. Shouldn't even need help. And yet Olivia Miles had her way with this Indiana Fever team. And Stephanie White, defensive specialist coach, had zero answers, zero adjustments. She just let it happen as if she wanted to see it. But it is embarrassing to be a player of Kelsey Mitchell's athleticism and be that freaking bad at defense. You know what that tells me? That tells me you're selfish. All you care is about your own points to get your own accolades. You are not interested in what the team does. Don't like it, folks. Don't like it. Not a good sign going forward. Now, speaking of ruining things, let's talk about Aaliyah Boston and ruining the offense. Now, again, and a reminder with Kelsey Mitchell, too, who I've repeatedly called the best shooting guard in the league. Aaliyah Boston, I've said, elite center. But guess what? I don't think either one of them are a huge positive to this team right now. Aaliyah Boston, I am off that train for a while. Now, again, to be fair, I'm going to say a chunk of this is because of Stephanie White. But that being said, Aaliyah Boston is full on bought in and she can make changes as well. She ruins this offense. Yeah, I know they scored 100 points. They also didn't really, for the most part, have a chance against the Minnesota Lynx, the type of team they're going to need to be in the playoffs. Aaliyah Boston does not help this team when she's away from the basket the way she is often. She does not help this team when she is a hub. When she is a hub, this offense is terrible. Caitlin Clark gets removed as a factor, which is what the other team always wants to do. It is their number one thing. None of them will ever say it, but the number one thing of every team defending the Fever is take away Caitlin Clark. In fact, and again, they will never say it, but honest coaches will. There are coaches that have this philosophy. It could be, hey, let Kelsey Mitchell go off, but we're going to take away Caitlin Clark because that takes away everything else, and Kelsey Mitchell will get her points, but we will win the game. There are coaches who will design their defensive strategy in that way. Now, Aaliyah Boston as a hub, awful. Other teams are going to love it. She also no longer, well, she never really could set a good screen, but at least she could be effective in the pick and roll because I've said that is the best play in the WNBA. But now she can not only not set a good screen, she seems to have no idea how to roll off it, and in fact, usually moves the wrong way. In fact, usually stays in a position where she is crowding her teammate with the ball, making it even tougher for them. They'd be better off without the screen at all because she's effectively trapped her teammate into a 2-against-1 situation, making it a lot easier for the other team than she is for the ball carrier, which is usually Caitlin Clark, but not always. Why did Raven Johnson play? Nothing against Raven, but why after all this time? It's almost like they heard everyone say, why did you not go get a cot in the draft? Who would be rookie of the year, in my opinion. You look at her production numbers per 36 minutes, she's averaging like 24 points and 14 rebounds per 36 minutes played, but she's not getting the minutes because Angel Reese, even though Akat is a better basketball player than Angel Reese, yes, she is. There is no discussion or debate on that. Why can't MHA get minutes any longer? She too effective? Is she too pro Caitlin Clark? Why? Why? Someone got to explain it to me because it certainly had nothing to do with the way she's been playing on the court. And yet, I've never seen a reporter ask that question. Here we go again. And this is where I say this is removed from Caitlin Clark. The WNBA reporters are still terrible. They carry water for the teams. It is one of the most obvious questions to be asked, and no one asks it. Why can Stephanie White, the defensive specialist, adjust her defense to slow down Olivia Miles? It's almost as if she wanted Olivia Miles to do what she did. Lexi Hull, basically useless, folks. Basically useless once again. Let me just double check here. 14 minutes. She did score 6 points because she was actually 2 of 2 from the field. Grabbed a couple of rebounds, had an assist. I will say in the plus minus 3, I mean, she was better than what the team did, but Michaela Timpson was again solid, right? She's getting more time, 21 minutes, 7 points, 3 or 4 from the field, 5 rebounds, a couple of blocks as well. It's good to see her getting minutes. You all know I've been a big fan of Michaela Timpson since she got in the league. I mean, she is the epitome of what the new WNBA should look like from a bigs standpoint. She's long, she's lean, she's athletic, she moves well, she's got a vertical. Get this woman to develop, and she doesn't have to develop a three, folks, but get her to develop a 15 to 18-foot jumper. And Michaela Timpson could be a dominant all-star in this league for a long time to come. And we need a lot more of hers in here to replace the old, big, lumbering, slow, no-skill players that have been the foundation of the WNBA for years. Sophie didn't, I mean, I won't even say she didn't have it. She didn't get any opportunity. 23 minutes, but she only took 3 shots. I mean, 2 shots, 1 for 1 from 3. I mean, and that's basically your bench. MHA only played 2 minutes. Raven played 4. Harris played 10. Cunningham and Michaela got 23 and 21 minutes. But do you want good news? I said I'd give you some, right? Despite everything that I just said, and despite the fact that it seemed as if Minnesota was in control of this game the entire time, it was still a winnable game for the Indiana Fever at the end. And let me be very clear, it showed me this. Now, changes have to be made. Caitlin can't shoot 2 of 9 from 3. Can't defend Olivia Miles in this way. AB can't be a hub. But all that being said, I watch this game and say, okay, the Lynx are the best team in the league. They won their 10th straight. I have no problem believing the Indiana Fever can beat them in a playoff series, period, which means they can beat anyone in a playoff series, which means despite all the things that I'm yapping about, the Indiana Fever have what it takes to win a WNBA title this year. Oh, I usually finish on a high note, but I got to end with this one little bit of a negative. The big problem with the Indiana Fever, this team is totally dependent on Caitlin Clark's talent, which isn't in and of itself isn't terrible, but here is the red flag. It's totally dependent on Caitlin Clark's talent in a system that doesn't fit with Caitlin Clark. Tells you everything you need to know about the coaching. All right, but I'm going to repeat what I just said so we end with a positive. This Indiana Fever team is good enough to win a WNBA title this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you later.